Hey guys and gals, Joe Miller Gaming here, back with another video for Goddess of Genesis S. In today's video, we're going to be going over how to build a team composition. One of the things I see requested a lot on Facebook, the sort of Goddess of Genesis groups on there. I see it asked in the chat a lot, down in the server and world chats. I know my guild, we talk about it all the time. So I want to help you get a nice team build, right? Somebody that's going to get you through PvE, through PvP. Thus far, it doesn't seem like there's a huge meta shift going from PvE to PvP. I'll talk a little bit about what I know to try and help out with that too, though. So let's get into the video. All right, now on your team, you're going to obviously have 5 people. We'll start with the regular team before we go to the supports. In those 5 people, you're going to want 2 damage dealers, at least 1 tank, at least 1 healer, and at least 1 CC champion. Somebody that's going to do stuns or petrifies, freeze, sleep. So what we're going to do here is we're going to go over different champions, or different heroes rather, that will give you those abilities. So starting with your tanks, right, our guardians. We already know one of the best in the game is Valkyrie. Something that she does is she actually takes the hit. If there's a single target hit going on any of your other heroes, Valkyrie's going to slide over. She's going to take the hit for them. So this dramatically increases your survivability. She also has an ability here on her Oath Shield. It makes her and 1 ally immune to incoming damage 1 time. So the next time they get hit, they're not going to take any damage, whether it's an AoE or a single target. Another one that will do this for you is Dracula. So Dracula, I don't have, and I had to go through the summoning sort of area to pull him up. For whatever reason, you can't view heroes that you don't own in this game. But anyway, this is Dracula. He has some amazing survivability with this skill here, Shackles of Sin. Grants all allies Soul Link, decreasing their damage taken by 50%. Dracula absorbs 25% for 2 turns and enters guard status, so he takes less damage. Now, that combines with his talent, Dracula's Kiss, where he stays alive upon taking fatal damage, and his HP drops to 1, but that's going to go all the way around until it gets back to Dracula again, and then he heals for 30% of his HP. So if you see that little string connecting all the heroes when Dracula's on the other side, and then he gets that big purple bubble, that's him being immortal and just taking half of all the damage for his teammates. So Dracula, definitely somebody that's going to keep you alive. Alright, so next up is Poseidon. Yeah, get them curls on, boy. So Poseidon's an awesome tank. He can also act as your CC hero, which we'll come back around to in a little bit. But for his tanky ability, you can look at his talent. When attacked, he counterattacks the attacker, dealing physical damage equal to 70% of his strength. Puts on Frost Marks, which can act as your CC a bit because it'll freeze them. We'll get into that later. Then you look at his skill Tidal Ward. So he removes Stun, Freeze, Petrify, and Sleep, all the hardcore CCs in this game from allies, and immunizes against incoming damage for the target ally 1 time. So similar to how Valkyrie protects herself and 1 other ally for 1 hit, Poseidon's going to protect 1 ally for 1 hit. He's 1 rarity under Valkyrie, so he can't be quite as good, though he does have a lot of other utility. When you look at his ultimate, it's a full team taunt. Granted, it is on a 2-turn cooldown. Okay, next up on our Guardians is Marco Polo. She is a lower rarity, but don't let that scare you away from her, especially considering you start with this hero. When you look at her talent, Friendly Intervention, she's gonna trigger Intervene and protect all allies when HP is above 50%. So what that means is that when there's a single target ability, she's gonna slide over, just like Valkyrie, and take that hit for your squishy heroes. Then you look at her Around the World ability. It's a single target stun, so she can also act as a great CC hero. And then you look at her ultimate, and it's a heal. So she's going to restore HP by 25% of max, plus 2,000, and enter guard status. So she's going to keep herself alive, enter guard, slide over there, take more hits for your team. Okay, next up is Gawain, another lower rarity Guardian, but he's still good. You look at his talent, Knight's Duty. When HP is above 20%, he's got a 100% chance to protect his allies, just like Valk, just like Marco Polo. When attacked, he also has a 20% chance to gain a shield with HP equal to 20% of strength. So that's pretty good as well. Then you look at his next skill, Flawless Onslaught, deals physical damage, but he increases his own block by 25%. Then you look at his ult, Shield Bash, deals physical damage to a single enemy, grants all allies a shield with HP equal to 55% of his strength. So this guy is totally there to keep you alive. He's going to put up shields. He's going to take hits for your squishies. So even if you don't have a high rarity Guardian, you can get by with Gwen and keep your team alive. That's all the Guardians I really have on my account, but if you have any others that you pull, just pull up their ability bar. If they have any sort of protections, if they have any sort of shields, they're going to be a great Guardian for you. So let's get into the next ones. Alright, so here we are. We're going to look at our CC heroes now. To start it off, we're going to look no farther than Abe no Seme. Abe no Seme is, I gotta say, probably the best one to freeze heroes in this game. Every time I'm against this guy, it's so annoying because my team's constantly frozen. I really hope I get one soon because he will end up on my main team. All of his abilities have an extra 15% chance to additionally inflict 1 stack of Frostmark. So the way Frostmark works is once you have 5 stacks on that particular hero, they're frozen for 1 turn. So you look at his next, even his basic ability inflicts 1 stack of Frostmark. His next skill, Frosty Ground, is on a single enemy, but it inflicts 4 stacks of Frostmark. And then you look at his ultimate, Icy Words, deals magic damage to all enemies, 40% chance to just outright inflict freeze on them. So you want to open up with that ultimate ability. Even if you only get a couple people, that's a couple people that aren't going to take their turn, give you a second chance to go back around and lay on more debuffs, put out more damage, possibly kill some squishy assassins that are going to kill you. CC is so important in this game. So important if you want to win, especially in arena, in dungeons. The only time it's really not needed is when you're doing those boss fights, like the Joint Strike and things like that. Alright, so that's Abe no Seme. On to the next one. And next up for a possible CC hero is Medusa. And Medusa is the one that you see right now is on my main team. I love using Medusa. She's got an ability right here, Medusa's Gaze. Deals magic damage to everyone and inflicts 1 stack of poison to everyone. Poison is a good sort of HP chunker. It's going to chunk their HP down. Works great against bosses. Works great against enemy tanks. Anyway, this has a 100% chance to petrify whoever you click on or tap on for that AoE. So that's going to just, they're stunned. They're going to be a little stoned. They're not going to do anything. You're going to kill them after that. Anyway, if you look down at her support ability, she also has a chance to petrify. So even just using her as support gets you some secondary CC, which is something that I've recently done as I've been bringing in Poseidon, our next CC champion. So you remember Poseidon is a great Guardian. You know, there's definitely other Guardians that fill the Guardian role better than him. But what he can do is come in, give you a second Guardian to make your team more tanky, and give you CC. So we just talked about Frostmark. You'll see when he's attacked, he inflicts Frostmarks on the attacker. And then you look at his ult, Storm Step. He flips everybody into this giant whirlpool, throws them all around, right? Deals physical damage equal to 85% of his strength, and inflicts Taunt that lasts 1 turn. For every 1 target taunted, decrease own damage taken by 8%, stacks up to 5 times. So the target can't use AoE abilities. They're going to have to straight up just come after and attack him. And he's a Guardian, so he's tanky. He's going to take those hits. And that taunt could potentially just ruin your opponent's entire next turn. I've been ruined by Poseidons before. I've ruined other people with my Poseidon since I put him in. CC from him is killer. That AoE taunt might be the best in the game. So next up is Marco Polo. We spoke about her a bit in the Guardian role, but if you come back down to her Around the World ability, deals physical damage equal to 200% of her strength to a single enemy, 100% chance to stun the target. So you could, again, keep a Guardian like Valkyrie or Dracula on your team, and then bring in Marco Polo just to keep your team a little more tanky and provide some CC for you. Okay, next up is Alice. So Alice has some interesting sort of CC. There's an event going on for her right now where you can get her shards by sort of progressing through the game and beating the events. So what Alice does is she's going to sort of act as a healer and as a CC. So you'll see her talent after taking action, any action, heals the 2 allies with the lowest HP by 45% of her intelligence. Not a huge heal, but little pocket heals can't hurt here and there. She could be your sort of utility healer. Then you just come down right to her ultimate, inflicts 1 stack of charm on all enemies, and puts the target enemy to sleep. So charm on everybody, and then whoever you tap on, that person's going night-night. One thing to keep in mind with sleep is if that person is attacked before their turn comes around, they will wake up and they will still take their turn. So sleep is probably the weakest of the CCs, but hey, if you have a lot of single target heroes like Lucifer and Michael, stuff like that, then she's going to be great for you. She's going to put one of their people to sleep while you just focus on whoever you want to kill. Potentially here you would probably sleep like a Valkyrie or a Marco Polo, some kind of tank that's running over and taking the damage for them. Okay, so that was all I had for CC heroes. Again, I don't have every hero in this game, and it doesn't really let you see the ones that you don't have. Not that I know of, anyway. If you know, tell me. That'd be great. But anyway, you're looking out for stuns, you're looking out for freezes, you're looking out for sleeps, you're looking out for petrifies. If you have a hero that has a 100% chance to land that on 1 or multiple targets, that is going to be fully, like 100% who you want in your CC position. And then you're just going to kind of pick whoever does the best job at it. Alright, so next up, we are going to be looking at our healers. So we've got our Guardian to kind of take the hits for us and keep our squishies alive. We got our CCs, which is going to stop some of the enemy's biggest heroes and biggest threats. That way we can keep our turns going back around, keep ourselves alive. And now we're going to look at a healer. So healer is going to, obviously some AoE heals are great if you don't have a Guardian that takes single target hits like a Valkyrie or a Marco Polo. But single target heals are nice if you do have one of those heroes that runs over and takes those hits, because they don't take them when they're under half health. So you have a single target healer, heal that Guardian back up, the Guardian goes back to taking hits for your team. So let's get into our healers. Isabella, this is the one I'll be using on my team. So you look at her talent, healing has a 100% chance to remove 1 debuff, always great. You come down to a Holy Protection, heals 1 ally by 280% of intelligence plus 2,000, and grants the target 1 stack of defense up. If the target's HP is below 50%, grants them a shield with HP equal to 50% of intelligence. So this is just outright 1 person, you're alive. Alright? And then we're going to go into her ultimate, Aurora Miracle. Heals all allies by 130% of intelligence plus 700, and grants them a shield with HP equal to 30% of intelligence. Additionally, grants the ally with the lowest HP a shield with HP equal to 30% of intelligence. Her support ability, another heal, and she has a synergy with Abe no Seme. So that is my healer. I very much enjoy her. She seems to be one of the top tiers. Isabella. I will mention there's a couple other SSR healers that I haven't pulled, I don't have. I think Gabriel might be one of them, but I don't have the ability to go over her. If you pull an SSR healer, it's most likely they are going to be better than any of the lower ones, so feel free to put them on your team. I'm just going to quickly touch base on the other ones that I have. So next up, I don't want to 100% consider Mary a healer, but if sometimes people like to put a really big support healer in their support role, kind of like a Venus, which we'll get into. And then you could use Mary as a secondary sort of healer on your team with her Lunar Blessing. She grants all allies Leech for 2 turns, and attacks with Leech effect ignore shields, and attacks restore HP equal to 35% of the damage dealt. So they're not huge heals, but they are something that can slightly keep your team alive. This may be better more in PvE than PvP. I used Mary on my main team for a little bit, but she just stopped feeling so useful. Next up is Cupid. So Cupid doesn't necessarily like outright heal you, but if you come over to her Lover's Bento, she grants all allies 1 stack of attack up and 2 stacks of regenerate. So with Regenerate, each action restores HP by 30% of caster's intelligence. So not huge heals. She's not going to, bring you back from the dead or anything like that, but it is something that can keep you alive. All right, so we spoke on Alice a little bit. She would not be enough to be your main healer, but if you're going to be using her as your CC hero, the fact that she can slightly fill the healing role for you is going to be excellent. Any hero you can get that can moderately fill 2 roles is going to just be so beneficial for your team. It's going to give you more things that you can do to your enemy to hassle them and keep your turns going back around. So what she does, we looked at it. It's her talent. After taking action, heals the 2 allies with the lowest HP by 45% of her intelligence. That's really the only heal that she has in here, but it is a little something. So that's Alice. Next up is Venus. So she starts off as an SR champion, and she's got some great heals. You look at her talent: speed plus 25 when HP below 50%. Healing grants target with a shield with HP equal to 15% of intelligence. So she heals you. She puts a little shield on as well. Then you go down to her skill Idol's Cure. Heals 1 ally by 270% of intelligence plus 1,000. And ability upgrades again at Awaken plus 3. So I'm sure they're going to be a little bit better as you level the heroes up. I just haven't leveled up this particular one. Then you look at her alt, Rose Garden Soliloquy. Heals all allies by 135% of intelligence plus tree fitting.
I need about tree fitting.
Ability upgrades at Awaken plus 5. Her support ability too. So Venus, in terms of people that I fight against, seems to be one of the better support healers. So if you want to bring in extra heals, you feel like your health's going down too fast and you're not getting it up fast enough, you throw her into a support role while you have another healer in your main team. Then she grants 1 energy when the battle begins, like everyone else, but she restores 1 ally's HP by 250% of intelligence plus 1,000. Then after casting the ability, gains 2 more energy. And that's not even the fully upgraded version of this ability, because it comes around again at 5 stars. Okay, next up is Mr. Slime King. I think we all know him because he's that money grubber. He gives us gold at the Slime Trove. He's definitely bottom tier healer, but hey, he's a healer, so we will go over him. If you look at his ultimate, he loses 20% of current HP, but gains 2 energy. Doesn't really do much for a healer. I guess it lets you have some more energy for your later turns if you have somebody that's going last. It means a lot. Otherwise, his skill here, Dimensional Conversion, deals magic damage equal to 40% of intelligence to all enemies. Then heals all allies by 63% of intelligence, plus 350. His support ability, Cell Growth, gains 1 energy when battle begins like everyone. And then he restores all allies' HP by 63% of intelligence, plus 350.
I said, I ain't giving you no tree fitting, you goddamn Loch Ness monster. Get your own goddamn money.
After casting his ability, gains 2 energy. Ability upgrades when hero reaches 5 stars. So maybe it gets a little bit better. This one upgrades when he reaches Awaken 3. Still probably not going to be the best heal. So that does it for healers. Let's get into our damage dealers. Alright, so next up is Lilith, right? So we'll look at something like she does. So when an enemy dies, randomly inflicts 1 stack of charm on other 3 enemies. So keep an eye out on the charm debuffs here with her. She's all around that sort of. She deals physical damage equal to 100% of strength to a single enemy and inflicts 1 stack of charm on her basic attacks. Charm lowers their strength and intelligence by 5% for 2 turns. And you can stack it 5 times. So that's 25% potentially. You look at her skill, Succubus Slash, deals physical damage equal to 170% of strength to all enemies and inflicts 1 stack of charm. Just like Hattori Hanzo and most assassins, she enters stealth mode after doing that AoE ability. You look at her alt, deals physical damage equal to 500% of strength to a single enemy and detonates all stacks of charm on the target. Each stack of charm dealing true damage equal to 10% of the target's max HP. So that can just explode people. What you want to do is pair her with a hero that does AoE charm. So you can go back, you can look at somebody like the hero that you start with, Cupid. You look at her ultimate ability, deals magic damage equal to 100% of intelligence to all enemies and inflicts 1 stack of charm. So somebody like Cupid would go first, AoE, put some charms on everyone. Then you send in, Lilith. You do her AoE, put more charms on everyone. Then hopefully you have a good CC hero like a Poseidon or somebody to get that turn back around. Now that everybody's got a couple stacks of charms on them, you come down and you decide who you want to die the next turn, because Lilith's AoE is going to nuke them. Exploding 2 stacks of charm plus the ability itself already hurts. Michael, the Archangel himself, is a character in this game, and he's got a unique ability, right? So we'll just kind of go through it real quick. 100% chance to revive after death, removing all debuffs and restoring 50% HP. When battle begins, inflicts 1 stack of Ignite. So this is what we're looking at on Michael. Ignites on all enemies. Ignite, physical defense, minus 5%, loses 3% max HP after taking action. Nice. His basic attack deals physical damage equal to 100% of strength to a single enemy, inflicts 1 stack of Ignite. What do you know? Wings of Judgment skill deals physical damage equal to 480% of strength, that's a lot, to a single enemy and inflicts 4 stacks of Ignite. That's a lot of Ignite. It can go up to 5 times. Then his ultimate deals physical damage equal to 500% of strength to a single enemy. For every 1 stack of Ignite the target has, increases final damage done by 10%. This ability kills the target, instantly detonates all Ignite effects on other enemies, dealing corresponding amounts of damage. Wow, that's so sick. So you see what's going on here. With him, you're going to want to open up, and you're going to want to try and get those 4 stacks of Ignite on somebody, and then you're going to want to combo him with somebody like Apollo, who has an AoE skill, Waltz of Roses, deals magical damage equal to 120% of intelligence to all enemies, and inflicts 1 stack of Ignite as an AoE. Again, you're going to want those CC champions, those guardians, to keep you alive for your turn to come back around. And then Michael's going to ult and explode. You're going to kind of target their squishiest one that you know you can kill. That way you detonate the Ignite on everyone else. So Michael, who's known for really only being a single target hero, can very much be an AoE hero if you have him combined with the right people. So that's going to, for the most part, kind of do it on damage. I mean, there's a lot of other options you can do. One person I'll kind of highlight here is Hades. Something that I think also maybe gets overlooked. I use Hades almost strictly for PvE content when I'm doing, some of those levels where you're against a bunch of guardians, and they're just so tanky, they're not dying. Hades' ultimate ability attacks a single enemy, kills enemy instantly if the target's HP is below 50%. So you just gotta get those big beefy tanks under half health, then you throw Hades in here, and he's gonna execute them. I've hit for over 200k on single targets with Hades because of Reaper of Souls. So if you are having trouble on certain levels just getting one person down, you're in an adventure and you have that secondary objective to kill this hero first, and that hero that you're supposed to kill first is almost always super tanky. Get him under half health, bring Hades in your team, execute him. He's really slow for PvP content. You look at that speed, 87. That's just god awful. You're gonna need to stack a lot of speed into his artifacts if you're gonna use him in PvP. But in PvE, he does great. Next, for damage too, something else to keep in mind is somebody like Jester works out really well in a support role. You look at his support ability. Where's abilities? Jesus, there we are. You look at his support ability. Deals physical damage equal to 110% of strength to all enemies, 50% chance to inflict defense down. So that's an AoE on everyone. A lot of the team that you're fighting against is going to have that defense down put on them. Therefore, just making you do more damage, right? Damage reduction, they lose 10% of their damage reduction for 2 turns. And if you decide you're going to put him in your actual team, he doesn't do bad there either as like one of your damage dealers. You use his ultimate ability to, again, throw that defense down. This time, it's still a 50% chance to inflict the 1 stack, but, it comes around more often since he's in the game. And then this triple strike hits hard, man. This triple strike hits really hard. I've one-shotted people with it when he was in my main team. He's since been replaced by Hattori Hanzo and Merlin. But he's still in my support role because that defense drop is really nice. Another thing to look at on your teams, we've kind of transitioned to the support in this scenario if you haven't realized. Somebody like Angel makes a great support. You look at her support ability, deals physical damage equal to 50% of strength to all enemies, and inflicts 1 stack of attack down. So that's a 100% chance to land, and it's AoE. So they're going to be doing 10% less damage to you once Angel's support ability comes around. Guaranteed to land, it's really great. I use Angel as one of my supports as well. Alright, so that does it. I hope this video helps. I hope you were able to learn something. Let me know in the comments down below who you plan on subbing into your team, who you maybe plan on changing around. If you have somebody that you have questions on that I maybe didn't pull, I'll be happy to take a look and answer those questions for you. If you're still sticking around the video, leave me a like, leave me a subscribe. I'm pushing for 100 subscribers just to kind of let me know that this channel's building, that this game's building. I'll go ahead, I'll get like the other content creators do with a little green screen behind me, add a little better production value, spend some more time on these videos, maybe even bring some every day, and yeah, give you guys some good content to watch. So thanks for watching.
Well, it was about that time I got suspicious. I said, Chef, why do you need Tree Fitty? He said, my imaginary friend Google the dinosaur wants it. I went to my son's room, and sure enough, there was the Loch Ness Monster.
Oh, it was scary.